Ah, you see this Jenny, mate? It's no work.
Oh my god. Was it working earlier?
No, you must be working right.
Things as well, like, I understand, right, there's a lot of young guys in the team that are coming through. See when I come in and shoot like either.
Today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes here at Taylor Roofs. We'll go over some of the jobs that we've done recently, some of the trials and tribulations that came along with it, and you're going to see exactly what goes on here at Taylor Roofs. So let's go out with Daniel and find out what's been going on with these jobs.
So this is a full slate replacement. We reslated the front and back panels with Spanish slate. So we stripped off all the old slates and then reslated it practically. So there wasn't much challenge on this job. It actually all went to plan. Everything, we done it in the time scale. The job looks good itself. So yeah, everything was good with this one. We started off by stripping off all the old slates, then we fixed any sarking that was needed replaced, then we installed our breathable membrane felt. We also added new zinc ridging to the top of the roof. For this project, we used 16x10 Cooper Heavy Spanish slates, which got nailed with copper nails. The gauge of the slates was 6.5 inch, giving the slate 3 inches of cover. We installed new lead valleys, then we cut the slates with an overhang of 50mm going into the valleys. The team has done a great job here, and this roof will last for 100 years. So because it's quite a big job, it's got a lot more planning involved. So it takes a wee bit more just to maybe do a couple of meetings and go over the job, what's going to happen. Also talk to the surveyor whose job it was and see what we're going to get done each week so we keep it on track. So because it's quite a big job, there's loads of different parts to it, it takes a bit of planning as well. I actually sat down with Stuart the surveyor and we looked over the job as well just to see if we could get it right and correctly price it.
The bigger jobs are quite hard to process. We don't have a lot of the bigger projects where it goes on for weeks and weeks. The ones we do have, the biggest issue you've got in terms is probably weather, because good old Scottish weather. And you've planned around that 6-week project. You're obviously planning in your next projects after that. The weather holds it back. Staff absence, not everybody wants to go to work every day and do what they're supposed to be doing. People are genuinely sick, so it's quite difficult to coordinate that kind of stuff. It's just about keeping it moving. There's proactive and reactive, there's our planning ahead, and it can be very reactive, the scheduling, for these reasons basically.
So what could be the possible challenges or challenges that's been there in the past? That's
Again,
caused
weather
issues?
and absence, that's the massive challenges. Keeping people at work, that's your two massive issues, yeah. In terms of materials, lead times, all stuff like that, we've got good relationships with the merchants and suppliers, so that's generally not an issue for us. It's more our own internal things, like we can't control. You can't control the weather. We don't know what's going to happen with that. Also managing these big projects, our contracts managers are probably managing 20 jobs a week. Maybe 2 of those are the big projects, so it's managing them as well, making sure they're also all the days are aligned with what we've set aside for them, basically.
Specific job, because we started it in the December, it was obviously a weather issue, so there was bits of there was frost and snow, so it kind of pushed us back a wee bit. And also the skip was only positioned at one part, so as the further on the roof went, there was quite a fair distance to the skip. This project was a bigger one because almost everything was getting replaced. We started off by stripping the small roof. We stripped off all the tiles, added a breathable felt and battens to the roof. We then tiled the roof and finished it off with vents, ridges. Then we moved on to tackle the main roof. New lead got installed in the valleys and in the copes. We then tiled the roof, added the verges, ridges and vents. So we moved on by fully replacing the other house by stripping off the old tiles. We then installed new tiles, vents and a dry ridge system. We then moved on to the lower roof of the main house, stripping off all the old tiles and getting it watertight. We also added battens to the roof. There was lots of lead work to be installed in this roof, as there was lots of valleys, water gates and copes. And the roof was finished off with new tiles, ridges and verges. Subscribe. This project did have its challenges though. For example, we had snow that turned into ice, which made it hard for us to work on the roof. Due to the access, the skip could only be put in one place, so the further the job went on, the harder it was for the guys to get the materials into the skip. Overall, this project has been a long one, but I think it's all turned out great.
This is the job that we're doing in East Calder. This is a full roof replacement, so we're basically stripping it back, adding the OSB boards to the roof. The reason we do that in Scotland is to make sure that the roof is, one, going to survive the weather, and two, going to last a long time. Also, we use a breathable membrane felt, which goes on top of the OSB board. This is the layer that makes the roof actually watertight. Now, you may be wondering, what about venting? What about ventilation? What about airflow? Well, this is where we install a drainage system later on, and we also install some vents. Now we're moving on to the battens. This is us pinging some lines, going up, making sure everything's got evenly spaced and there's enough courses going up the roof. Just making sure we nail them down as we go up, making sure they're secure and ready for the tiles to be loaded up. So now let's move on to loading out the roof. The reason we do this and not just get straight to tiling, this is to make sure that we've got the right amount of tiles on the roof and also making sure that they're laid out, making it easier when it comes to tiling. We tile from right to left and we nail each course as we go along, making sure that every tile is properly secured to the roof. In terms of ventilation and airflow, we've installed vents and a dry ridge system on this roof, and this is what gives the roof ventilation and airflow. I think this one looks amazing. So now I'm going to take you through some of the meetings that go on in here. Obviously we have the pre-planning meeting, they've got the full team meeting, there's all these certain little things, and I want to just kind of take you through them and you can see exactly where it's going on, what's happening, and really what these meetings serve, what the purpose of these meetings do.
So we're currently heading back to the yard for pre-planning meeting. That's at 2 o'clock, so I need to be back to the yard for 2. So the pre-planning meeting is when we go through all the jobs that's scheduled in for next week, and we just go over them, and then I'll put all the site inspections and sign-offs all in to the sheet so we know where we're going next week. Yeah, so it's really giving you a plan for next week, so we're set out before Monday, so we know everything was happening next week. Aaron.
Oh.
Right, mate.
Aye, see this game?
Oh my God. Was it working earlier?
Doing the dividing that this morning, didn't I stay back and everything?
Help him put some lead in, put all the lead in, or we'll just need to...
Still pumping the lead then?
Aye, just even if you cut it all, or...
That's no worries.
Right,
I was just phoning you up again.
Right, no bother, mate. See you.
Right, no worries, man. Cheers. Right. Probably better. Let's get that one fixed up. Is it just... I think it's two. Even if we did get it running past it, even if we work with it.
Aye, just handball it and then...
Do that.
Right.
Any happens.
See ya.
Right.
OSB in there and sit on. Right, if you're against the wall. Is that what it is? Just that car?
And then paint the front ones.
Okay, that's getting scaffold and it's already up.
Go to the picture of the new Stuart there for the flexibles, the internal one, mate.
Oh, look at that.
That's a little wee thing that was looking at.
Guys, what was it?
Negations.
You got another couple by now already.
So let's go and hear from Daniel about how he manages the guys and actually see some of it in person.
Yes.
Am I getting them out today?
No, you're making... It's too much to take in account at all one time. So you can then we'll get you to sign a toolbox top, we'll get you register all their names. So just introduce it to them this meeting today. Use a thing you do a knee-jerk reaction.
Well, how's Job had to get had to go with it because the... So it's just an end of week team meeting, and I get everybody back usually at 3:30 just to go over the numbers which we've hit through the week. Also any issues that they've faced as well, and then we can just get a wee chat. It's really, we brought it in just for trying to build the culture and get everybody together just for the last half hour of the week. This is all...
The problem that we've got is, see if we could, like...
They've just got proper teams in it, man. Everybody can pass a bit now, but it's really...
Usually the boys on the ground, like, you will know how to fix it. You will fucking know how to fix it. Sometimes as well, like, I understand, right, there's a lot of young guys in the team.
So as you can see in the office, there's graphics being put on all the doors and on the walls. Now the reason this has been done is quite interesting, so let's go and find out.
Aye, so it's any good business has to have a long-term plan and a short-term plan. So what you'll see around the building is 10-year target. The UK's largest, most trusted and reliable roofing company for homeowners. So it sticks with our niche. We predominantly work for private homeowners. That's what we're great at. So we want to do more and more and more of that and be the biggest and the best at it in the UK. Then you bring that back to the 3-year picture, which is pretty much doing that all over Scotland. Same sort of vibe, but it's just on a smaller scale. So what that then holds us to account for is, well, how do you do that? And the how is more around, right, well, what's our 1-year plan? What do we need to do between now and the next 12 months to get closer to both of those targets? And then it holds you to account for, do you know, if we're going to be the biggest, we're going to be the best, we're going to need to have the most reviews, we're going to need to employ the most amount of people, whether that's admin team or roofing team, we're going to need to we're going to need to provide a great service. And then we've got the values up here, we've got some philosophies that we live by, which is sort of above the line and below the line, a framework that's called ORBED. So above the line is ownership, accountability, responsibility. Below the line is blame, excuse, denial. So we're always trying to encourage our team to go above the line in everything that we do. And that's sort of what you see. So it starts off with, well, here's the vision, here's where we're headed. And then that just has to become the behaviour. So it's easy to put the stuff on the walls, it's harder to actually live and breathe it. So we're always constantly trying to have team meetings around what it all means, share it with the full team, you know, everyone understands it. But constant work in progress, but it's a big part of what's brought us to where we are, and then even further where we want to go. The worst thing that can happen in business is running out of runway. So if you feel like you've run out of runway, it can get a bit demoralising. Whereas if you can stretch that to almost go, right, there's the next 10 years, it just opens up the playing field a bit, and you can go, right, what are we going?
Make sure you subscribe.
What are we going after here? What do we want to achieve?
How effective do you feel it's been?
In terms of effectiveness, we had stuff like this in place at our old premises. Then when we moved here and we did a refurb, it took us a bit of time to get it all back in place. Things have changed over the years, so you start to tweak the targets. At one point we'd already hit our sort of 10x target, if you like. So it was to take the company from, we were maybe 300k revenues at the time, with maybe a handful of staff, to then the 10x version was going to be a £3 million company with 30 plus staff or whatever. So we hit those numbers and we got there, and as I said, we sort of ran out of that runway. So this was a new way of opening up our mindset again and opening up, right, where are we heading? In terms of effectiveness, I think that we're still in the process of just really drilling that down through the full team. So I would say it's helping with the language that we use within the business, so we can reference that's where we're headed, and here's our core values, and it's there, like the tailor-made experience. That's our A to Z of how we take a private homeowner from the beginning, their first inquiry, all the way through to having a great job done and leaving us hopefully a 5-star review at the end. That's our goal on every single one. So just by having it documented, it then allows the team to know what we're all working to as well. So I'd say it really helps, but you can't just stick it on the wall and hope that it'll do the work. You've got to literally live and breathe it. You've got to bring it into the team meetings, whether that's the monthly team meetings, your management meetings. It works, but it has to be lived and breathed by everyone all the time, shared by all.
So let's go and meet some of the amazing people that work here at Taylor Roofs. How are you finding being moving up and being off the phones now?
It's been great. It frees up a lot of time to progress, learn new things. I've enjoyed it.
Has there been any kind of challenges or with moving up, if you know what I mean?
Not yet. That's not to say it's not to come, but I wouldn't say no yet, no.
So would you say you're enjoying the extra responsibility on it then?
Yeah, no. There's certain things that I sometimes feel a bit when I start doing it, but then once you get the flow and things like that, and you've been shown it a couple of times, things they get a bit easier.
Do you find do you find Karen's actually really good for helping you with that kind of stuff?
100%. She's literally, she's taught me everything I know already, so I definitely bounce off her a lot.
You used to seem to be really close all the time. You can see it in loads of different stuff.
It's pure mum and daughter.
How are you enjoying your new wee office in here?
I like being able to have the space to shut the door and just put my head down and get on with things, but at the same time it's good that the girls are just still right there that they can bounce off me as well without me being like so isolated for them. But no, I enjoy the space.
How long have you been here?
8 months now.
Do you feel that like you've probably kind of learnt about a lot for like Ali or the team or whatever, try and figure out stuff?
I didn't know anything about Ruth. Couldn't tell you a single thing about Ruth this time last year.
So how you find it like with like different people that you're kind of working with and stuff like that?
Yeah, I work with quite a good team, to be fair. We actually work quite well together. We get on. We don't have any fights really.
No yet.
No yet, no.
Where would you want to eventually, if you wanted to kind of move up, where would you want to kind of go?
I'd probably want to go operations way, I think. A lot of people in here like they want to finance and that. Like I do like doing my admin stuff, but I can do better, I can do more. So I think if I wanted to do anything, I'd probably go operations way.
How are you handling, would you say, the pressure when it can be busy?
It was bad, like I would say Christmas. Like Christmas time was really bad because obviously like surveyors were off and it was Christmas and they were only doing like one day actually out, and that was stressful because people were wanting stuff in like ASAP and we couldn't do that. But it's calmed down a wee bit now, but it still can be quite busy sometimes. But it's not really that bad. If you're going to get stressed about it, you're not going to do it right.
Do you feel that you've been kind of supported by the team when it gets to moments like that?
Yeah, because usually like sometimes Ali will answer the phones, like if like Amber obviously wasn't here at Christmas, so she would answer the phones if I couldn't get it, and now Amber's here, so if I can't get it or I've got other stuff to do, Amber's there to do it. So it doesn't feel like I have to rush everything now, because I know that Amber's going to be there to answer the phone or answer emails if I can't do it at that moment.
How do you think Karen's helped making sure that like you're able to like get better at like being on the phones or talking to people or more knowledge or stuff like that?
Like she does like call monitor meetings, so listening to our calls, she's told me I will say I've got a lot better. I used to panic on the phones, like a customer would phone up with a complaint and I'd be like, oh my god, like what do I do now? Like a comeback or something. And now it's just like I know the process, like raise it to operations, I'll get sorted for you, and then it's obviously their responsibility. But we do like, she's trying to do product knowledge meetings. Obviously everything's a wee bit everywhere now, so we've not really done that yet, but she'll send us, like if I ask her to send me an email, like what does this mean, she'll send me an email and explain it. Like it's no, like she's not got to explain it to me. Like these are like surveyors as well, they explain quite a lot of stuff like product wise. It's just, I'm quite good at writing emails, so that's not a problem. But the phone is. I have got better though, because you just don't panic. Keep it happy, and usually they'll be like, I'll pick it in, because you're happy on the phone.
No. So how long have you been here for, Cam?
How long? 8 years.
8 years. And obviously I know you do a lot in here, so what's like one of the main things that you're kind of focusing on now?
At the minute we've identified that I just go where I'm actually needed to go. So the resource in the business is stretched quite a bit in terms of management and stuff. So rather than bringing other managers in to see what we need, I'll go to each department and identify what's needed before we bring in the next person. So put processes, make sure the systems and processes that we're currently using are ready basically before you bring a person in to use those systems and processes. They change that often that it's needed basically.
And do you feel that like going from department to department you can kind of understand exactly where each department is?
Aye, I've kind of, along with Kelly, she's now took a step out the business, but myself and Kelly kind of set up all the systems and processes in here. So it's good to get back in touch with them and see where we're currently at, because people don't necessarily identify when something changes that the process needs to change with. So it's good like for me to go in and say, right, well, that looks like we need to change something here, it's not working anymore. People will just go in and do what you've put down for them, which is fine. You give people a process, they follow it, that's absolutely fine, but it might not be the most efficient way to do things after we've been working for a while. So it's good to get in and get back in touch with everything and find out what's needed next, basically.
So I know you work closely with Lucy, Amber and Ali, but I actually got some feedback for them basically saying what it's like kind of having you as your manager and stuff like that. So how is it kind of developing the admin and finance team?
It's good, the girls are quite self-sufficient anyway, so once you put a process in, they'll follow it. The girls are actually really quick learners, they're quick at doing stuff. Ali's came on loads in the last year, she's kind of my wee underdog. We have a fair few scraps and bang doors at each other and that, but we're quite respectful. We fall in after about 15 minutes.
Just text, just WhatsApp me if you've got them. Perfect. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye bye bye.
So how's it been for you the past few months?
Yeah, it's been good. Quite busy. Had some new additions to the office team as well, so it's been good.
How's it been working alongside Phil? Because he's obviously new here.
Yeah, I feel like it's went well with Phil coming in. A lot of extra support there, and also I think he's brought some accountability back within the workforce as well.
What would you say like it's been challenging before that Phil's actually helped with?
So, like I said, the accountability. So for the guys on sites wearing their PPE, so making sure their PPE is on at all times. We've also everybody got the abrasive wheels training as well, and we've done the first aid training as well. So it's all good for the team.
So he's relatively still new to the business, still finding his feet, still learning the departments and stuff like that. But I kind of a foot off my heat and a foot on his. Good so far. I think we've got a long way to go. We've got quite a lot of stuff. As I say, he's just been finding his feet recently. So once he's getting to grips with most stuff now. So.
How do you think he's settled in?
Good I hope. Bully him regularly in that.
So our new MD Phil, yeah, I think he's time of recording this, I think he's about 9 weeks in. It's a huge job that he's came in to do. He's basically replaced my wife Kelly, who was in the business sitting in that seat. And so he's going through everything, he's learning it all. Do you know, he's got a good track record of having run teams in the past. Now what he's finding is sort of marketing, sales, operations, admin and finance, HR, health and safety, but all of those key components, but the roofing version as well. So he's not from a roofing background, he's from a missiles and battery was his background. So it's more to do with processes and procedures and targets, and he's pretty results driven, so he's trying to drive those results. So I would say it's early days, but he's settling in fairly well. It's a huge job, massive undertaking, and it's one of the biggest roles we've ever hired for. So I'm working quite closely with him. I'm the visionary of the company, so as the chairman, it's up to me to provide a vision and then help him to give him the best tools and the best success of integrating that vision. But yeah, he's finding his feet, he's having the meetings, he's changing things, he's coming up with new ideas, and he's trying to embrace that for the team as well, so that they can get their ideas across. And you know, he'll bring things to me and say, look, we're going to try this, and I'm just trying to have that faith and say, look, that's fine. Myself and Kelly said we wanted to take a step back, so let's give him that place to do that.
So Phil, what has it been like being here for the first few months?
So, great experience. The company itself are really family focused. They really have great values about ownership, accountability and responsibility with the employees, and the company actually really cares about the customer. And that's from the start of the process to the end of the process, to ensure we do the best job possible for the customer. Aside from that, it's a company that really believes in its employees. They give them a lot of support, a lot of training, and there's a lot of feedback and communication throughout the week to make sure that everybody's okay, they've got the skills they require, and the health and safety aspect is, you know, paramount. We need everybody to come home safe and sound and had a good day's work. So it's 100% PPE every time on site, and we do audits to support that as well. So yeah, it's got all the values, and we're just really efficient at carrying out jobs and getting maximum customer satisfaction.
So how are you feeling that you're settling in?
I settled down really quickly, yeah, it's been great. The people have been really welcoming. I actually got on with a lot of them, good personalities, good people to know when you're up against it, the pressure's a bit on. We all get round the table and come up with the best idea for the issue we have at hand. So no, it's been great.
Because of your role, like, is there kind of like any challenges that come along with obviously that, because it's a big role?
I think for me, actually not coming from this industry, originally, you know, I'm from a sort of an aerospace defence industry background. It's just learning the technicalities of the actual role and the sort of jargon, so to speak, and you know how an actual roof is put together. But as I say, there's a great amount of people with obviously a far amount of knowledge that I can tap into every day. Any other sort of issues, as I say, the team sort of deals with them. So no, I'm more than comfortable within the role, and I know exactly where the company's going. Yeah.
I do keep a track of it because that helps me to usually be able to tell.
Like, see how the guys have the QR codes on the tickets for their
links.
They get links.
How are you finding like those office meetings so we can actually like find out where everybody's at?
I think they're good, and I think it's good to hear everybody's ideas, and it's good to see where each department is, because well, you know yourself, we're no always in each other's pockets, so sometimes you don't know how each department's progressing. I think they've been great. I think everybody's ideas have been like great, and I think it's good to hear what people think about different things, even if they don't sit in that department. I think they've been good. I enjoy them. It gets folk away from their desk for a wee bit as well, and just we all get to catch up.
I think it's because it's everybody trying to make everything better in here, if you know what I mean.
Aye, it feels positive, if that makes sense. Aye. And
100%.
I don't mean it. So I mean, certain meetings don't bring the morale up, and you feel like more deflated coming out it than you do. But I feel like they ones, it's like it's a good opportunity for everybody to just say how they feel, and nobody takes anything personally. Like it's no, because it's not about them. It's just about the business.
They're probably helpful, to be fair. I think it gives everybody a chance to actually come together, because departments, I don't really feel like we come together that much. Like obviously we speak to like every department, but more like obviously like operations and surveying, they can be a bit, but like we're obviously booking stuff in for the surveyors, and then like scaffolding and that, like we're speaking to the customers about their dates for jobs and stuff like that, so we have a lot more conversations, but it's not like all together we have a conversation, so it's probably helpful. We need to be able to raise them with each other together for everybody here, because like people might take it personally that like, oh, surveyors are doing a bad job or whatever, but we could be saying the same thing about operations and they wouldn't know that. I think that it's allowed people to stop thinking that we're just blaming that singular person. Like, it's not even blame, it's just like, oh, they're the only one that's got issues or whatever, or stuff they need to work on. It's not just them, it's everybody as a whole company.
I think it's important to keep everybody in the business aware of where we're going, what our focus is, what our plans are for the year and stuff. We have one, as you know, away day once a year, which gives us the 1 year plan, what our plan is for the following year. And here things change all the time. Although it's the bigger focus, that 1 year plan, the week to week and the month to month things change. So it's important that everybody knows where we're going, rather than the management team. It's good that everybody kens, everybody's got the same focus on where we're actually trying to get. Because I think it gives everybody a chance to be open and honest in that room. It's a chance to say it constructively and not have your ideas chucked about and why it's not a good idea or why it is. There's people who have ideas because they're doing the job every day that you maybe don't. So as a leader, to sit in there and just preach stuff is not always the best idea. To get other people's ideas good, so aye.
The thing is with meetings, everyone thinks, oh, here's a meeting about another meeting. Your meetings have to be effective. So we run off of a framework which is called a level 10 meeting. So basically, if you start on time, you finish on time, and you solve the 3 biggest issues in the department that week, then it's a 10 out of 10 basically. So we're always looking to get in there and be productive with our meetings and make sure that stuff's happening off the back of it.
Thanks for staying at the end of this video. If you guys want to see more Taylor Roofs behind the scenes, subscribe.